Good morning, guys, from Puerto Princesa, Palawan. It was raining so hard last night that the internet doesn't work at the moment. But in 1 hour it's finished when the sun rises, so it's alright. Still a little bit rain. It's like that here now. The rainy season still on. Okay. It's 5 a.m. and the day starts with pineapple juice, Sprite and some porridge. And porridge is a Nordic style, so it has salt. Missing the butter at the moment, but I would put big piece of butter there also, natural butter. Can you believe how fresh I feel now after 16 hours of sleep? That's one of my hidden talents, by the way, sleeping. Since it's still raining and it doesn't seem to stop, so I thought I'd tell you a little story about connections between Finland and the Philippines. Before that, I have one proverb that comes to my mind. It's an old Finnish saying that says, when a young man sleeps, it's the same as putting money on his bank account. But I have to say that it doesn't show up in my bank statement at all, even though I sleep a lot. Anyhow, the connections between Finland and the Philippines, they are not as old than US to Philippines, but still the first written evidence that a Finn visit the Philippines was late 1900s, so 1890s about. It was a Finnish sailor in a cargo ship in Manila. Back then it was called Mainila, not Manila. And that sailor ended up living in New York, Harlem. Back then the Harlem was a different kind of neighborhood. It housed Finnish community, Swedish community, Scandinavians. And nowadays it's a little bit different, I know. Anyhow, that sailor ended up being a painting contractor there. So, after that, the next big thing in Pinoy-Finnish relationship was in 1950s. And there's a US connection to this also. The first Miss Universum contest was held in US. I think they were held in California, Miami, if I'm not mistaken. So, and the winner of that first Miss Universum crown was a Finnish girl from a neighboring town, Muhos, Armi Kuusela. I think the year was 1952, the Olympic year of Helsinki Olympics also. So big year for Finland, Olympics and the world's most beautiful woman. And in the prize, there was a movie role for the young lady and also a world around trip. And on that trip, they landed in Manila and there was a party held by the upper class Filipinos. And this young guy, local guy from Manila, noticed Armi and fell in love immediately. And after a few weeks of dating or knowing each other, the man proposed. And Armi said yes. So, the young man was an upper class Filipino from a wealthy family, wealthy business family. And I think his name was Igario, but I can type it down here anyhow after double checking. Well, Armi wrote home to her parents asking for permission to marry, which was the custom back then. Nowadays nobody asks anything about the parents anymore in the West, I think. Anyhow, the letter from back home didn't arrive on time, and while the young couple were in Japan on that world tour, they secretly married there in a church and in a secret location because there was a guardian with Armi, like protecting her on the journey and maybe watching her back and protecting her. So anyhow, that man was also annoying her, so they married secretly because they knew that that guardian wouldn't have accepted the marriage. So anyhow, now they're married and they decided to settle down in Manila. Armi was such a young lady then, like I think 19 years old, 18 years old. She actually won the crown when she was 17. So very young girl and moving to Manila. That was something, it was a big scandal in Finland back then. But later the press followed the couple and it was year-long storytelling from the Finnish press and just visiting Philippines, and the couple also visited Finland multiple times. I think they had 5 kids together and they still, some of them still live in the Philippines. Half Finnish, half Filipino. They had successful businesses, like a big hotel. It's now demolished already. You know, it's 1950s when they settled down in Manila. They were involved in local politics. Armi was also in the local politics. I guess it was allowed back then in the Philippines in 1950s to be in local politics. Now it's unheard of that some foreigner is here in the politics, except Alice Guo, which is a Chinese spy, but that's another story. Oh, actually, there's a little story when Armi arrived to Manila. You know, the world's most beautiful woman arrives in Manila. It was a big news in the Philippines back then, and there was more than 10,000 people waiting her in the airport. The Ice Queen arrives, and people went nuts then, as Filipinos do when the celebrity comes here. At least she got a better welcome to Philippines than Beatles was escorted out from the Philippines or kicked out from the Philippines, but that's another story, what happened to the Beatles here. Well, they lived here until 1970s, 1975, until the day the husband died of a heart attack. And after that, Armi married American businessman and moved to US and has been living there ever since. And she's still older, healthy pensioner living in, I think, either Florida or California. I forgot where she's now residing, but she's like 92, I think, and still living the life there in the US. I'm not sure if the husband is still alive, but anyhow, another relationship between Finland and the Philippines is 1970s when a Finnish president met the local president. Well, it was, you know, big deal for us, I think. There's not much trading between the two countries because we are so distant from each other. But the Finnish president got a miniature outrigger boat as a gift from the Pinoy president. I think the Filipino president actually visited Finland back then in 1970s. And we have some companies here which has been here almost 30 years, like an elevator company called Kone, K-O-N-E. It's a large, like a massive Finnish company building elevators. One of the customers is Burj Dubai, Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the building. Kone built the elevators there, and also you see them in the shopping malls and large buildings here in the Philippines. So the company has been here almost 8 years, and Armi Kuusela was also in the board of the Kone Philippines here. And of course Nokia was once the largest single company on this planet in 1990s, and it has been here on the Philippines, and still people remember Finland from Nokia here, especially the little bit older people, since the Nokia doesn't make really cell phones anymore, but focusing on other things like network solutions and towers and building a 4G network to the moon with NASA when they go there. Nokia won the bidding on that. But actually Nokia makes phones still, but the phone section, they are all Nokia CEOs or upper management people who made another company called HMD they make still phones like a new retro Nokia phones, looks like the old ones, but upper, like they use a modern technology. Yeah. Well, the young people here know Angry Birds computer games quite popular. It's a Finnish gaming company that makes that. And then Santa Claus, sauna. It's not pronounced sauna, it's pronounced sauna. It's actually one of the only words from Finnish language that traveled the world, sauna, and is mispronounced as sauna. It's sauna, folks, sauna. And about that, the world's largest sauna factory is in the Philippines, owned by a Finnish guy. The company is called Sauvo. It's in Mactan Island, has been there for more than 30 years. They have offices in Hong Kong and Singapore and Finland also. So that's quite kind of interesting. The saunas sell pretty nicely here in the Southeast Asia. And I see a couple of them here in the gyms, Sauvo saunas. Yeah. I think it's more to the upper class Filipinos who, appreciate sauna. Oh, and one last thing came to my mind. There's a hockey team here in Asia. They call it a jungle hockey. And there's hockey teams at least in Cebu and Manila. And also Thailand has in Bangkok, and Singapore, Hong Kong has. So there's an Asian Hockey League, and the coach of the Manila team is a Finnish guy. That's a one weird connection also. Yeah. And nowadays it's not unheard of in Finland to have a spouse, a wife from the Philippines. It's not common at all, like having a Thailand wife, but still it happens more so than before. I mean, from a Finnish perspective, Philippines is way out there, far away, end of the world. Well, the world is getting smaller and smaller every year, but still Philippines is way out there, and there's not good news about the Philippines almost ever in Finnish press. Only about the killings and typhoons and these kind of horrible things that happen here. But because our population is getting older and older, and we cannot find people to work the laborious jobs like nursing or just working in grocery shops, chefs, cleaners, these kind of jobs, we need the workers. And that's why hundreds of Filipinos have been hired to Finland. But the main problem is that in Finland one needs to know Finnish language to succeed there, because really everyone knows English, but it's not used in everyday life, except in some tech business or some upper class jobs. So before Filipino goes there, the land of Santa Claus, one needs to learn basic Finnish, which is a 6-month course near Baguio in a Silk Road company. It's managed by the Silk Road company, which is hiring Filipinos to be nurses in Finland. And I think all in all, there's about 20,000 Filipinos living in Finland, more and more every year. And I really salute this over some other nations coming there, which do nothing, just living out of social welfare. Filipinos are very hardworking and respectful people. So I really say hooray to this development of Filipinos coming to work in Finland. So that's the new connections, and I'm happy to hear about it. So that means more marriages and intercultural exchange and families in the future. But nevertheless, so remember to stay awesome, and until next time, bye.